Hare
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Anyani cheha dvijadevai कृतानि नानायतनान विष्णु प्रत्यक्षमुङ्गाङ्गीतमन्दरिणी यद्दर्शनात् कृष्णमसु मनुस्मरन्ति.
There were also many other temples of various forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, established by great sages and demigods. These temples were marked with the chief emblems of the Lord, and they reminded one always of the original personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna.
ततस्त्वतिव्रज्य सुराष्ट्रमृद्धम् सौवरीमनिक्ष्यान् कुरु जाह्नलांश कालेन तावद्युमुनामुपेत्य तत्रोद्भवम् भागवतं ददर्श.
Thereafter he passed through very wealthy provinces like Surat, Sovira, and Matsya, and through western India, known as Kurujangala. At last he reached the bank of the Yamuna, where he happened to meet Uddhava, the great
स वासुदेवानुगचरं प्रशान्तं बृहस्पते प्राक्तनयं प्रतीतम् आलिङ्ग्य गाढं प्रणयेन भद्रं स्वानामपृच्छद्भगवत्प्रजानम्.
Then, due to his great love and feeling, Vidura embraced him, Uddhava, who was a constant companion of Lord Krishna and formerly a great student of Brihaspati's. Vidura then asked him for news of the family of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead.
पुराणौ पुरुषत्येह किलावतीर्णै आसाद् उर्वा कुशलं विधाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं शूरगेः.
Please tell me whether the original personalities of Godhead, who incarnated themselves at the request of Brahma, who was born out of the lotus flower from the Lord, and who have increased the prosperity of the world by elevating everyone, are doing well in the house of Surasena.
कश्चित् कुरूणां परमा सुहृद्नो वामस आस्ते सुखमह्यशौरिः यो वै स्वसृणां पितृद्वग्नदाति वरान् वदान्यो वरतर्पणेन.
Please tell me whether the best friend of the Kurus, our brother-in-law Vasudeva, is doing well. He is very munificent. He is like a father to his sisters, and he is always pleasing to his wives.
कश्चित् वरुधाधिपर्तियो दधूनां प्रद्युम्न आस्ते सुखमङ्गवीरः यं रुक्मणी भगवतोऽभिलेभे आराध्य विप्रान् स्मरमादिसर्गे.
O Uddhava, please tell me, how is Pradyumna, the commander
even for great renounces. Purport. The destination of transcendence is to become the personal associate of the personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshaja, he who is beyond the reaches of the senses. So often we will hear Krishna is addressed as Adokshaja, meaning he is beyond the reaches of the senses, the material senses. The renouncers of the world, the sannyasis, give up all worldly connections, namely family, wife, children, friends, home, wealth, everything to attain the transcendental bliss of Brahman happiness. But Adokshaja happiness is beyond Brahman happiness. The empiric philosophers enjoy a transcendental quality of bliss. By philosophical speculation, supreme truth. But beyond that pleasure is the pleasure enjoyed by Brahman in the eternal form of the personality of Godhead. Brahman bliss is enjoyed by living entities after liberation from material bondage. But Para Brahman, the personality of Godhead, enjoys eternally a bliss of his own potency, which is called the Ladhini potency. The empiric philosopher who studies Brahman by negation of the external features has not yet learned the quality of the Ladhini potency of Brahman. Out of many potencies of the omnipotent, there are three features of his internal potency. Name it Sandhini and Ladhini. And in spite of their strict adherence to the principles of Yam, Niyam, Asana, Dhyana, Dharana, and Pranayam, the great yogis and jnanis are unable to enter the internal potency of the Lord. This internal potency, however, is easily realized by the devotees of the Lord by dint of devotional service. Yashodhana achieved this stage of life, just as he achieved expert knowledge in military science from Arjuna. Thus his life was successful to the fullest extent from both the material and spiritual angles of vision. That is the way of devotional service of the Lord. So Yudhana, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm just gonna quickly so here Prabhupada is explaining that how Yuyudhana, who was a great devotee of the Lord, he attained a position which is very difficult for even great renouncers. Now, Yudhana was not particularly a great renouncer. He was actually a military person. He was known as the chieftain of the Narayani Sena, which is one of the clans of the Vrishni dynasty. And this verse is saying that he attained the transcendental destination, which is even difficult to reach for great renouncers. Now, for many of the Vedic philosophers, this is a great mystery. Because according to the Vedic or the Gyanis, they have a conception that only one who has been fixed in the stage of Brahman can reach the transcendental destination. But yet he said, their limit of the transcendental destination is Brahman. They do not have much conception of Bhagavan. But Prabhupada is explaining that there are three aspects to the internal potency of the Lord: Samvit, Sandhini, and Ladhini. Samvit corresponds to Satchitananda. Samvit corresponds to the eternality potency of the Lord. Sandini corresponds to the Chit potency of the Lord, which is the knowledge potency. And Ladini is the pleasure-giving potency. So through other processes, one can each reach the stage of Sat and Chit. That means knowledge and eternality. But the real Ananda is missing. Srila Rupa Goswami explains in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that yes, the Brahman stage there is Ananda. But if you compare the Ananda, like Rupa Goswami says, the Ananda or the happiness experience through material sense gratification, it is like a drop compared to the bliss that is attained through Brahman. It's completely off the scale. You can't even compare. So Srila Rupa Goswami says the bliss that one gets through attainment of Brahman, that is very insignificant compared to the bliss that comes through devotional service, through Bhagavan. So therefore, although we may say there may be bliss through attainment of Brahman, compared to the bliss that comes through the Ladini Shakti, which is the pleasure-giving potency, which is personified by Srimati Radharani, other forms of bliss is just, you can't even compare. You can't even compare. So this military personality, Yudhana, he achieved the highest stage, the stage of associating with Krishna. And that was through dint of devotional service. And Prabhupada said, just as he achieved expert knowledge from Arjuna, his life was successful to the fullest extent through his devotional service. And that is success. Once Srila Prabhupada went to the house of the Birlas, and the Birlas asked Srila Prabhupada to speak, and Prabhupada asked, what do you want me to speak on? And they asked Srila Prabhupada to speak on what it means to be successful. And Prabhupada says, all of us, we have the choice to be under the control of the material energy or the spiritual energy. And Prabhupada says, real success in life means to be under the control of the spiritual energy, personified by Srimati Radharani. So that's real success, to be under the control of the pleasure potency. Let me just see how we're doing for time. Also, we've only got 2 more verses, 33, so we can move on. Text number 32. Kaschid Buddhas Swasti Anamiva Aste Swapalka Putro Bhagavat Prapanaha Ya Krishna Padan Kita Margapam Shuv Achesh Tata Prema Vibina Dairyaha. Please tell me whether Akrura, the son of Swapalka, is doing well. He is a faultless soul surrendered unto the personality of Godhead. He once lost his mental equilibrium due to his ecstasy of transcendental love and fell down on the dust of a road which was marked with the footprints of Krishna. So here Vidura is asking about Akrura to Uddhava. Purport. When Akrura came to Vrindavan in search of Krishna, he saw the footprints of the Lord on the dust of Nandagram, and at once fell on them in ecstasy of transcendental love. This ecstasy is possible for a devotee who is fully absorbed in incessant thoughts of Krishna. Such a pure devotee of the Lord is naturally faultless because he is always associated with the Supreme Pure Personality of Godhead. Constant thought of the Lord is the antiseptic method for keeping oneself free from the infectious contamination of the material qualities. The pure devotee of the Lord is always in company with the Lord by thinking of him. Yet, in the particular context of time and space, the transcendental emotions take a different turn, and this breaks the mental equilibrium of the devotee. Lord Chaitanya displayed typical example of transcendental ecstasy, as we can understand from the life of this incarnation of Godhead. So this verse, Vidura is inquiring about Akrura. And I'm sure many of you are aware of this particular pastime. Akrura was the uncle of Krishna. He was coming to Vraj, and on the way, he saw the footprints of Krishna. And when he saw the footprints of Krishna, he went into transcendental ecstasy. It's explained here, he lost his mental equilibrium. So this is the way of a devotee, the way of the devotees, the pure devotees of the Lord. Everything is a stimulus for the remembrance of the Lord. And Prabhupada talks about Krishna Smaranam. Ecstasy is possible for a devotee who is fully absorbed in incessant thoughts of Krishna. At the highest stages of devotional service, during the stages of some degree, Ashakti, Bhava, and Prema, simply by seeing different items, the devotee is going to ecstasy. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came as the devotee of Lord Krishna, and he showed how to love Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would be walking on the shore of the sea in Jagannath Puri. And immediately when he saw the ocean, he would think of the river Yamuna, and he would remember Krishna, and he would run towards it. When he saw the sand dunes, he thought of Govardhan Hill, and he would run towards it. So the feature of the pure devotee is that they are absorbed, completely absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. And there are different stimuli that would immediately enhance their remembrance of Krishna. There are so many devotees who would, they would see a peacock feather and immediately they'll go into transcendental ecstasy. It's very difficult for devotees to do this. The nature of a devotee is they try to hide their devotion. It is said that one of the qualities of the devotees is they never show their devotion. They try to hide it. And most of what's happening in the devotion is internal. But sometimes it becomes very difficult for them to hide it because the stimulus and the remembrance is so powerful that they break out into transcendental ecstasy. There were times when Srila Prabhupada would be talking, and the emotions would come, and he would try so hard to suppress them. And normally Srila Prabhupada would, when he would go to ecstasy, he would say, start kirtan. And he would ask the devotees to engage in kirtan. So this is something we could all pray to achieve, that when our remembrance of Lord Krishna is so strong and so powerful, that we'll be constantly experiencing the transcendental ecstasy of thinking of Lord Krishna. So the last verse for today is text number 33. Kachit Chivam Devaka Bhoja Putrya Vishnu Prajaya Iva Deva Matuhu Yavai Swagarbena Dadarase Devam Trai Yatha Yagya Vitanam Arstam. As the Vedas are the reservoir of sacrificial purposes, so the daughter of King Devaka Bhoja conceived the Supreme Personality of Godhead in her womb, as did the mother of the demigods. Is this Devaki doing well? Purport. The Vedas are full of transcendental knowledge and spiritual values, and thus Devaki, the mother of Lord Krishna, conceived the Lord in her womb as the personified meaning of the Vedas. There is no difference between the Vedas and the Lord. The Vedas aim at the understanding of the Lord, and the Lord is the Vedas personified. Krishna is compared to the meaningful Vedas, and the Lord to their purpose personified. Interesting purport. Prabhupada is saying the Vedas is Krishna, and Krishna is the Vedas personified. So the Vedas is Grantha, and Krishna is Bhagavan, the personality. And Prabhupada is saying they are the same. Krishna is the personification of the Vedas. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked, who spoke the Sri Ishupanishad? And Prabhupada said it was the Vedas personified. Just like we know from the Padma Purana, the Padma Purana says the Srimad Bhagavatam is the body of Lord Krishna. The first two books are his lotus feet. Books 3 and 4 are his thighs. Book 5 is his navel. Book 6 and 7 are his arms. Book 8 is his chest. Book 9 is his neck. Book 10 is his smiling face. Book 11 is his forehead. And Book 12 is his head. That's what Padma Purana says. Krishna appears to us in different ways. He appears to us in the form of prasadam to give us mercy. He appears to us in the form of the deity, Archa Vigraha, so that we can worship him. He appears in the form of the Shastras to give us mercy. He appears in the form of his holy name, Krishna Nam, to give us mercy. And then obviously Krishna in his personal form, he also appears to give us mercy by displaying his pastimes. So it says, just as the reservoir, the Vedas is the reservoir of all sacrificial purposes. What is the purposes of all sacrifices? Is to please Krishna. So the daughter of King Devaka, which is Devaki, Krishna's mother, she conceived of Krishna in the womb. Now, this point about Krishna being conceived in the womb would appear almost like a human baby being born in the womb. But Krishna's appearance is completely different. And that itself is a whole subject matter by itself, which we won't get into today. How Krishna is said to appear in the womb which is true, but it's also not true in the sense that it doesn't appear like an ordinary child appears in the womb. So I'll stop here. Take any questions or comments that anyone may have, or reflections. Let's see if there's anything on the chat. Okay, the devotees are thanking the reciters. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, reflections, dear devotees? It's a beautiful passage in the part of the Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam is glorification of Krishna and is also glorification of Krishna's devotees. One of the qualities of the pure devotees is they never separate Krishna's devotees from Krishna. So here we see this quality in Vidura. I was reading the other day, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada a question. He said, Srila Prabhupada, what happens to a devotee who is thinking of the spiritual master at the time of death, but not thinking about Krishna? What happens to him? And Srila Prabhupada says, he also goes back to Krishna. Because the spiritual master is thinking about Krishna. The spiritual master is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. So he also goes to Krishna. So the point being made is, if one is absorbed in thoughts of the pure devotees of Krishna, Krishna is very pleased. And he gives that person the same destination if that person was thinking about him. Because we don't separate Krishna from Krishna's devotees. Prabhupada says that in the Nectar of Devotion. He says, when we say Krishna, we do not only mean the two-handed form of Krishna playing on his flute in his threefold bending form. When we say Krishna, we mean Krishna's name, Krishna's fame, Krishna's abode, Krishna's pastimes, and Krishna's devotees. That is the real meaning of Krishna. Not only the threefold bending form of Krishna playing a flute. So real devotees, they have a broad understanding of what Krishna means. We cannot separate Krishna from his devotees, from his paraphernalia, from his name, from his lila, nama, rupa, dhamma. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Haribol, I just wanted to thank you for the class, Prabhuji, because, and I'm very sorry if I disturbed you sometime because I thought somebody muted me. My sincere apologies.
It's okay, Prabhu. Did you have a question, Prabhu, or you just wanted to make that statement?
Because there was a pause, I just thought I will apologize.
Okay.
We should not irritate Vaishnavas. We should be very respectful of them.
No, sometimes we forget. I've made that mistake too. Thank you, though. Anyone else? Okay, dear devotees, if there's no questions or comments, thank you very much for your attentive hearing. I must say that admit that I forgot it was my turn today. So Sri Jikishori Mataji called me. So I had to do this class completely impromptu. And I beg for your forgiveness for any lackings. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. Vanchakalpatra.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nice class.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.